I'm Dr. Lara, and welcome to another episode of Q&A with the Angels. Before I get started, I just would like to let you know that this is the last time I'm going to be doing a Q&A for this year. I'm going to go within for the next couple weeks to figure out how the angels want me to show up, how I want to show up in 2025. So it's just kind of clear that this part is probably going to shift a little bit, but I do want to honor the questions that people have sent in. So we're going to start with that today. Okay. All right. So when love and light get stronger, will we live differently in our communities? Will there be communities that live together more, or will they be more separate? So what I'm seeing like open land, and I'm seeing like clusters. Okay. So it looks like, and this is already happening, they're telling me that these communities are already forming. They're already physically forming, but there are also in people's ideas and minds of how they would like to live in a community. And it feels like these communities are going to get back to the basics of things. It's not like they're not going to have electricity or running water. They are. There's going to be all the conveniences of modern day living, but people are going to get back into using their hands. It looks like people are going to learn how to sew. They're going to learn how to build things. They're going to do pottery and like kind of live off the land, but have the conveniences of modern living. And it looks like there's going to be like a central place for meeting. Like they're showing me like the Midwest. Like, so in the Midwest, they have like a town square, and there's like a gazebo in the town square, and then they have like all the shops and stuff around the town square, and then there's houses all around that. So it kind of looks like that we are going to be living in communities, but people are going to be coming together more for common purposes. And yeah, it feels like in the past, people have kind of like gone into their homes and into themselves, and what is it that I can get out of this, and in kind of like in a selfish way, but it feels like it was more self-preservation. And it feels like 2020 really did that for a lot of people to help them kind of get out of the busyness of life. And it feels like with this reemergence of energy that people are going to be coming together and sharing themselves, and I see like people doing storytelling and people doing music and people sharing their crafts and their food that they're growing, and it looks really amazing. And like I said, it's already happening now, but with the new communities that are coming together, it's like they're going to have like a shared consciousness, like a shared spirituality, or like a yoga community, or like a channeling community of woo-woo people, so it's like you're going to find your people. You're going to find your tribe is what they're saying. Okay. That sounds pretty cool. All right. The next one. Are walk-ins real? And do we ask for them? And how would we know when the transition takes place? Okay. I want to share a story of this, and then they'll. So I experienced something with a walk-in. A couple years ago, my daughter was sick with mono, and I had no idea how to help her because there was a lot of like stuff that goes on with that. And I went into this store, and I go there all the time. And I went in there with my other daughter, and she was showing me something. I said, wait a minute, I'm going to look down this aisle. And there just so happens to be this person that works there that I'd never seen before. And I had no idea what I was looking for. So I asked him, I said, do you have something specific for people that have had mono? Turns out this person worked with athletes that had mono specifically. So he gave me this whole protocol that he did for his athletes. And I went home and I gave that to my daughter, and she did not experience the fatigue that comes with mono. She had like a day of it, where usually they say they have like 3 to 6 months of it. So that for me was a walk-in, because I've never seen him since. I've never seen him after that. So yes, there are, in my opinion, there are walk-ins, and the way that I was able to understand it or know was because intuitively I felt that. So that's my experience. So let's ask the angels, okay? Oh yes, there are walk-ins, and they happen all the time. All the time. And it's almost like, because they're showing me like a person, and then a walk-in will come in and go for however long it's needed, and then they'll come back out. Okay. Oftentimes walk-ins are needed if the people that they're trying to give information to, they can't hear it, or they're not open to it. Because usually, you know, when you talk to people and there is a certain intuitive hit that people get, and the angels are there. They're giving these people these intuitive hits to portray to the other person. Sometimes that person that they're trying to work with isn't open, so they'll come in and go, and then they'll be in that moment, and then they'll come back out. Now the body that they're inhabiting, they're saying it doesn't go anywhere, like the soul doesn't go anywhere, it just kind of takes a step back, so this walking can do what it needs to do, and then it comes back out. And they're just saying, open your mind. We are, you know, living in this third dimensional world where we'll see it if we believe it, or we believe it if we see it. And we're moving into this space where so many things are possible. So if there's certain things that you are thinking or you're wondering about, that's consciousness trying to work its way through you to help you open your mind and your perspectives to new ideas and new ways of being. So the way that you would be able to know if it was a walk-in is if you intuitively felt it. And the more that we expand our awareness and develop our intuition, it's just going to be a knowing. Sometimes people get chills when there's a confirmation for something. Sometimes they get ringing in their ears when it's a confirmation, but we're moving into a space where you just know. Okay, next one. Do we all write in a certain number of exit points into our lives before we come down? And will we pass through each one being asked if we want to stay? Okay, so the exit points, like when you decide to make your transition to the new dimension, or like dying, that's an exit point. Okay. So they're showing me a timeline, and on the timeline there's points. So yeah, it looks like there are exit points where you can choose whether you want to stay or go. And what happens with these exit points, there is a certain level of like awareness. There's like evaluation that takes place. And you can evaluate, am I done here, or do I want to stay? Do I want to continue this path here on the planet, or am I finished? And a lot of times, okay, so this is what they're telling me, this happens a lot where people were supposed to like die in surgery, or, you know, the near-death experiences that all these people have. Sometimes they have this experience and they want to go, but they're like, nope, you still have some more stuff to learn. But then other times it's like they're being called to go, but then they're like, well, I still have some more stuff I need to take care of. So it feels like there's key points in our lives when that happens. We have that before we come down, but then there's also free will that exists. So you don't have to adhere to that. But they're showing that there is like a higher consciousness that is kind of like guiding you through your life. And the more that you are in tune and in touch with that higher consciousness, the more aware you're going to be of the contracts and the reasons why you came down here. So, and they're showing me it's like that veil is getting thinner and thinner between the third dimension and the higher dimensions. And so our consciousness is going to connect more, and we're going to start remembering more, and we're going to be able to come from a place of knowing things more than we already think that we know things. Okay. That's interesting. What do we do about feeling stuck? Okay. What can we do about feeling stuck? So first of all, the angels want to let you know that you are never stuck. It may feel like you're stuck because you may not think that you're moving towards something, you're not being productive on the outside. And when you are in this space of feeling stuck, there's a lot of inner work that's happening that you might not even be aware of. And they're saying that a lot of humanity feels like they're stuck because what was once enjoyable and happy and fulfilling for a person, it's lost its luster, and they don't know what to do now. They don't know where to go or how to be, because the old way of being, it's not working for them anymore. And they're showing me a bridge. So if you feel like you're stuck, you're on a bridge. You're on a bridge between the old and the new. So what can we do when we are in this space? Because it's uncomfortable, and they're just kind of giggling. It's like, thanks. Because it is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because the mind wants to know what's coming next. And it wants to know what's coming next because there's this belief that if we know what's coming next, then we're going to be safe. But we're learning how to be in a different way of being and trusting the moment, trusting that where we're at is exactly where we need to be. And if you're feeling stuck, one of the things that they could offer for you to do is to start journaling. Why do I feel stuck? Or what is this uncomfortableness that I'm feeling? Because it's there for a reason. It's something for us to look at when we are feeling like we're stuck. Okay, but they're just saying it's like you're doing a lot of inner work, and this too shall pass. And learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. You don't have to judge it, because a lot of people think that there's something wrong with them if they're feeling stuck. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's just part of where you are in your life. Okay, so this is what they're saying. People feel like they're stuck because they don't like where they are. So if you don't like where you are, start thinking, where would you like to be? How would you like to show up? What would you like to be doing? Start asking yourself those questions. And once that energy starts to infiltrate into your body, then the universe will say, oh, okay, so you want to start learning how to connect with animals, and and read their minds and help people with their animals. You want to start doing that. So then there's going to be a book that's going to come into your experience, or you're going to see a video of an animal whisperer. And then that will lead you to the next thing you want to do. So start daydreaming. If you could do anything with your life, you didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to worry about what society said. You didn't have obligations. What would you be doing? and start doing that. And that will help move you out of this place. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, so the last one here, if we die, will we ascend as well? The answer is it depends on your consciousness. So it does. It depends on your consciousness. If you decide to go off of the planet right now, but you have this awareness of, yes, humanity is going, is expanding, we're going in a new direction, my work is done here, and you make that transition, that and your soul is going to continue to evolve. Whether it stays here on this planet in this consciousness is another question. You could go back, if you believe in reincarnation, you could come back onto the planet and reincarnate, or you could go off into another dimension, another planet, another system. Okay, so your soul is always evolving. Your soul is ascending. Now, there's other people that are on this planet right now that are deep into the old thinking, the old ways of being, and they're not really continuing their spiritual expansion. And if they die, they have the choice. They can go on to another plane, another existence, or they can come back into the planet. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you die or whether you stay on the planet, whether you're going to ascend or not. It depends on your own personal consciousness, your own personal awareness, and where your soul is headed. That was interesting. Okay, so thank you so much for being here with me and asking these wonderful questions. Like I said, I'm going to take a couple weeks off and get into my own space and start asking what makes sense for me and how I want to show up next year. And I invite you to do the same, to let go of obligations that you may have, let go of things that don't feel right for you anymore, and have the courage to put those down and to be in the inquiry of how can I show up next year? What is it that my soul wants to do? And start asking those questions. So I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here, and many, many blessings.